This episode was sponsored by Slate Black Industries. For grips and accessories, visit slateBlackIndustries.com.
MRGG assaulter. Josh, are you assaulting with a Night Force A-tacker? Is that why they call it the A-tacker?
I mean, yeah, it may be a little bit more glass than what this would be configured as, but to be honest, I don't actually really know.
So the MRGG had two rifles. One was the -S, the sniper, and one was the -A, the assaulter. This is the winner of the MRGG-A contract.
And we have had this rifle with this barrel in inventory for, I think, almost a year. So this was well before the contract was awarded. Now, the person who sold it to me allegedly said that this was a contract submission barrel. Don't know if it's true or not, but when compared to some of the other LMT barrels that we've shot, this thing is a laser beam. So hopefully it stands up out at distance.
All right.
Never shot it at distance, only printed it on paper up close. Let's start at 150.
150.
Ready. $200.
A little bit to the left.
We do have wind right to left. I'm surprised it would be happening that quickly. Although it is quite it's full value right now.
Yeah. So the interesting thing is...
Those impacts at 150 were slightly left as well.
So okay, I can start pushing to the right a little bit. The interesting thing that I've seen at the very least is the velocity of this cartridge seems to be very similar to my 16-inch MR762/G28 style rifle.
Yeah, this is also running the AAC ammo, and the AAC ammo is a bit lighter. At least this lot is. All right, I'm on at 250. Just start favoring slightly right of center here.
All right, I'm going to chill on the speed.
Yeah. Impact, bottom left quadrant. Same spot.
All right. One thing, though, I can tell you, shooting this AAC ammo, I'm feeling the bolt lag a little more than shooting some of the more full power 6.5s.
Got it. Okay, I'm there. 300.
300.
Impact, just left of center, slightly low. Go 1-2 and press right 2/10. Upper right shoulder.
Yeah, you know how roller delays feel? It has that ka-chunk.
All right, 350.
Okay, 350.
Impact right across the upper chest, just left quadrant. Press to the right edge, re-engage. Nice, center.
Okay, I'm on left edge for those hits.
Right edge.
For that right edge, sorry, yeah, I'm on right edge for that hit. You see our buddy, the deer, coming out?
Oh my god.
Oh, look at the rack on that one, though.
He's not in camera. I can move it to see if I can find him. Oh my goodness.
That's a beautiful one. It's a little family. Look at that.
All right, I'm on at 400.
Okay, sorry, I was a little distracted.
Wildlife distraction. Got it. Upper chest, go to 2. Re-engage, right edge. Oh, no. Underneath.
Okay, I'm back to 2-3.
2-3 was on the hook pin, Henry.
Ah.
All right. Yeah, let's go 2-3 again, but...
Okay, 2-3.
Yeah, 2-3, right edge. Maybe that the one that impacted as the hit was just really hot. Because the impact was in the pin on the
Oh, look
net.
at this guy. Is he okay?
Yeah, he's posturing with the other one.
The other one's a young'un, though.
Yeah. All right, 450.
Okay.
Lower quadrant impact. Go to 3-2 and press right a tenth or two. Good hit, upper chest.
Okay.
All right, I am on at 500 meters. 4
Okay.
here.
4-0, tenth or so off the right edge.
Solid hit, re-engage. Impact, that one came in a little bit lower, but good hit.
Okay.
Same thing, go right edge plus a tenth or so.
Okay.
Upper impact. Maybe we try dropping to 4-6.
Well, we don't have to.
Yeah, it was right on the pin again, so right at his neckline.
No, I'm saying this is a one-shot clear.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Stand by.
6-3 on the elevation, 0.5 right, send it. Impact.
That was right top line, right?
It was, yes, right next to the pin.
Yeah, okay.
All right, I'm on at 8.
8-6 is what I have on the chart.
Right, 0.6. Splash, low line of the plate, off the right edge.
Okay.
Go to 8-8 on elevation.
I'm on 8-8.
Right, 0.2.
Right, 0.2.
Impact.
Nice. Very good, very quick adjustments on that one, Josh.
So we had that one screw up at 400. I don't think I gave you a bad call. Like, I know the comment section will be like, oh, he messed it up by telling him to drop the 3/10 or the 2/10.
No, that was a strange one.
I think that we either had a really hot round that came in slightly high, or maybe we took a slightly high shot. But the other one, that one at 800, I feel like we took the shot, we had a correction, and the correction was good, and we were able to get an immediate feedback on target. So effectively, one miss, but obviously two, because we did drop the 400. Quite good. Quite
14.5.
good.
So the question, we keep on seeing these rifles shorten their barrels. Because back in the day, battle rifles were 22 inches with the M14. And then it shortened to 20. And then somewhere along the lines, the 20 was too long. So we shortened that to 16 to make the CSAS. And now, by using 6.5, we are even shortening that. Because, of course, a 16-inch 6.5 is close to the performance of a 20-inch 308. So now we're seeing a 14.5-inch 6.5 shoot at these distances.
I kind of want to shoot it further to see what we can get at 900 and 1,000.
I thought you'd never ask.
Let's try it, dude. Let's try it.
So I have on the charts 10.8.
Let's go. At this point, our plus minus out there might be a little, we'll see. We'll react to it.
Okay.
Do you want to load a few more rounds, or are you good with what you got?
Let's go with what we have right for now.
Heard.
I mean, if you wanted to load a few.
I'm already on glass. Let's just try it. Let's see what we can get. Over the top. Go to 10-5 on the gun. Right, .3, re-engage. Impact, bottom line. Solid hit.
So the realized impact was...
I called you to 10-5. It was probably 10-8, to be honest, dude.
It was 10-8.
Just that first round went high.
Yeah, that
could
first
be
round...
we had it in the chamber for a while. Confirmed. You're going for the center target, the shorter of the furthest right square, the shortest of the two on the back berm. Confirmed.
Confirmed.
Right. .3. Impact center.
Very solid.
Dude.
See how fast this is, though? I mean...
How many more rounds you got in there?
Oh. 1 in the chamber.
Yeah?
4 right here.
Send a string.
At
At the
1,000?
speed that you're comfortable with. So that's 5 rounds. We're at 1,000.
Alright, give me a call again.
Right. .4. One dropped low, but the others were all on.
I felt the one that dropped low, too.
Light load, or
No, that was me.
You
that
just
was
didn't get it back.
That was me, yeah.
Those were like...
Yeah. Well, I think, yeah, that is, like, I will admit, if it's me, I can feel it. That was me dropping low. That said, Josh, I don't get excited about the modern stuff very often, but that is very good performance on a rifle that is extremely maneuverable.
I think people will ask why we shot this with AAC, especially since we were having a little deviation on the elevation out there.
Yeah.
When I patterned this on paper, the AAC was stacking a single hole. It was inside of a quarter.
I mean, look, outside of that one round, that was weird.
Yeah.
This thing was exceedingly responsive to what we were doing on range.
Yeah.
It was handling was great. Trigger felt great for precision. I mean, there's nothing negative I could say about it. It was weird though. The AAC ammunition when I was shooting it, the recoil was lower than usual, like 30 cal.
Yeah.
AR-10s. When I was shooting the AAC ammo, I did feel the click clunk, click clunk, click clunk.
The LMTs are also really heavily sprung.
Oh, I see.
To handle like hotter stuff. So if we were going to shoot AAC exclusively from this without a suppressor, then we could mess with the springs. But what I would normally do with a 14.5 like this would be to suppress it, I think. I just haven't. I wanted to shoot it sort of as is because we don't, it's sort of...
Yeah, well, so if you add... It's cool to suppress stuff, but I think as you get into...
It's a variable, right?
Yeah, it's just one extra thing that could mess it up, that could throw off results, and right now we're trying to primarily evaluate how the rifle performs in this type of situation. Now, later on, I'm sure we're going to do a how accurate on this, and when we're doing the how accurate, we'll see if the suppressor does anything on paper. As far as all of this goes, I can see how this won the contract.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a very good performer.
Yeah.
So if people didn't know, this is a monolithic upper, and then because it's a monolithic upper, they are able to exchange barrels very, very easily. So earlier, technically, we shot this rifle already with a different barrel for the -S. Is that correct?
No.
You
No, the
have two?
-S has a longer handguard.
You have 2 of these then?
Yes.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen.
But we have a 16-inch 308 barrel that can also be put into this setup.
I don't track Josh's purchasing habits very easily because his stuff all looks the same to me.
Yes, there are multiple LMTs in the queue. We had a lot of trouble with one of them, Henry.
Okay, I stand corrected. This is not the same rifle as we've shot before. The MRGG...
People are going to be so confused because we're going to run this before we run the S.
I am confused.
We'll talk about it at the debrief, Henry.
Ladies and gentlemen, The MRGG Assaulter, are we entertained? I certainly am. I'm impressed. So, big question to the audience before we head to the debrief, so you can start commenting below. The XM7 was chosen with a 13 and change inch barrel.
This or XM6? No, you can't even know. You can't even.
Specifically because we wanted armor pen capability out to 800. Would you, ladies and gentlemen, choose the LMT MRGG-A? Or would you choose the XM7, now the M7, which the Army is trying to really press into service with a 6.8 cartridge? Which would you choose? We'll see you guys at the debrief.
Oh, hello there. You must have caught me freshening up the 9-hole Reviews Mark 12. Now, did you know the 9-hole Reviews is largely supported by Slate Black Industries and the patrons of Patreon? That's true. All those 77 OTMs, all those heartbreaks and range fees that we experience. Behind us, we have the patrons of Patreon, who support us not only financially and intellectually, but emotionally. So today I'd like to invite you to become one of us. Join us on Patreon and become a patron of Patreon. And if not, completely understand. We'd be just as happy to hear from you in the comments section down below. But for now, onwards we go.
Welcome into the debrief. Henry, it's a large frame day, which means I'm very excited, right? We're shooting large frame AR-10s, and, well, you know, that's my jam these days. So what did you think? The LMT MRGG-A, hot off the presses, by the way.
Well, so hot is the right word because we don't often do the immediate new contract rifles. And this rifle just won the contract with SOCOM as the MRGG-A, the dash A, meaning assaulter. Now, that's a 14.5-inch barrel. In reference, this is a 14.5-inch barrel. This is how long that barrel is. And to make it even more exciting, this is a genuine contract-used barrel. So it was in the actual competition to win the SOCOM contract from the hands of the other competitors. Am I right?
Well, that's what the man on the internet told me who sold it to me, Henry. And it's possible that he may have also sold me oceanfront property in Arizona, but that's neither here nor there, okay? This was an ARFCOM purchase. The listing said it was an MRGG-A contract barrel. And I asked about it, and I was told, yep, nope, this is a legitimate contract barrel. And the other one is owned by X person, another YouTuber who's done videos on the rifle. Like, okay, I mean, I have no idea. I've seen other listings for a LMT MWS 14.5-inch gun, that basically this rifle, on Rooftop Defense, and they had it listed as a reference rifle for the MRGG-A contract submission. So don't actually know. This could be a chopped barrel from like a longer barrel down. Do not know. I do have detail that it was pinned and welded by D. Wilson to make it, U.S. civilian legal, because it is technically a short barrel. But one thing that we can say for sure, Henry, is that regardless of what this thing is a laser beam. Mm-hmm. It is not often that I would look at AR-10s and go, oh yeah, these are like supremely accurate or bolt gun accurate. I know we haven't done how accurate on this rifle yet.
Josh, heresy on that. Everyone knows these are sub-MOA.
Dude, with AAC 140,
mm-hmm.
I have shot multiple groups through a dime-sized hole, which is... you saw it on range when we zeroed this. It was like, what? And especially when we contrast that against and surprised the audience also hasn't seen this, we actually have a 20-inch MRGG-S or the MWS 20-inch from LMT, but there's a reason we haven't run it yet. And it's because, well, it wasn't so accurate. And we have had some problems with that barrel or that rifle. So when we contrasted it against that, this was like, oh, I could believe that this was some wizard did something special to this barrel.
I would say when I shot between those two rifles, because the MRGG contract has a -A component, so the assaulter component, and the -S component. Really, if you're looking at it, since it's a SOCOM contract, let's throw some SOCOM words out there. The -A would kind of be like the Mark 17 SCAR, the SCAR 17. And the -S would kind of be like the Mark 20 SSR, so the SCAR sniper. And so these would be direct substitutions for those two classes of rifles. Now, if these two were on the LMT catalog as a direct substitution of those, I could see why one of these two rifles won and one of these two rifles lost the contract. Very bad.
At least based off of the examples we have, right? Because I've seen people saying that the 20 inches are lights out and they're awesome and this and that. But it's just not the experience we had with the one that we had. Again, sample of one. Well, and then I did buy a second barrel for it to test the theory. And it was better, but it wasn't lights out like this thing is.
We can get into LMT government contracts and QC issues at a later point of this discussion. But I think right now a lot of people have kind of... I mean, the idea of a 14.5-inch barrel running large frame is kind of bonkers to a lot of people, right?
I think it's been widely considered as like verboten. You don't do that for a number of reasons, like gassing and irregularity in the gassing, and then just the velocity bleed-offs, right? Mm-hmm. Like you're so far below where like optimal burn is, right, on your projectile and maximizing the velocity and terminal ballistics, that it's like, yeah, it just doesn't, quote unquote, doesn't make sense. But I don't know, man. We tagged first round at 1,000, so.
I mean, I think we both know. I mean, there's been a progression of knowledge here, and a lot of times, let's say even people who were in the military, we get stuck in the era that we served, and we get stuck with the things that were getting thrown around during the era of when we served. So when guys primarily were shooting battle rifles, they were shooting 22-inch 7.62 full power NATO cartridges, and they were being told that you need this whole barrel to harness all of the power out of it. Yes. Okay, got it. When the Knights M110 came about, that was a 20-inch barrel. I mean, that's not huge on the shortening, but that was a sniper system as opposed to the 24-inch M24s that were out there. So already people were doubting, what if I want to reach out a longer distance? But we had a lot of advancement in the cartridge world, going from the old school 168s out to the 175 M118 LRs. And then further on, I think, when I look at this, a lot of people just look at the rifle, the weapon system itself. They don't look at the entire system, because the ammunition's a big part of this. As of 10 years ago, basically when I was leaving, 6.5 Creedmoor was like the next hot stuff for PRS and long-range shooters, and SOCOM was looking at it, because SOCOM and competition has this little thing going on that they kind of, they like to, you can copy my homework, but don't make it obvious type of scenario. And SOCOM really dove into the 6.5s for a more reliable first-round impact, downrange, less wind drift, basically using 6.5 as a better platform to push out at longer distances or with a more reliable shorter distance engagement, and really, really flush their logistics system with a lot of 6.5. So when I'm looking at the MRGG platform, yeah, they're two new rifles, but I think more so it's kind of like a standardization of the next generation of rifle to adopt to the currently flush system of 6.5 Creedmoor. Basically replacing where the SCAR 17, the SCAR Heavy, and the Mark 20 SSR, the SCAR 20, where those two sat, and replacing those two with the MRGG-A and the MRGG-S. Both of the systems, one's a 14.5, one is a 20-inch system, and I think 6.5 has a really unique. It has a unique characteristic to where you can go shorter and match kind of the 308 ballistics in a long
from a level up, right?
Yeah.
And well, to that end, the Mark 17 is obviously a 16-inch gun. This one being a 14.5. How did the trajectories line up?
Well,
in terms of data tabling on this,
I'm glad you asked, because I have what you guys all see on the thumbnail is the actual range records that I keep. And on the same day, we shot the G28 Lite. Well, it's the MR762A4, but outfitted as a G28. 16-inch 308, very nice rifle. The trajectory of that almost matched up the MRGG-A, almost identical, up to 750. And then after that, it was within 0.3, 0.4 mils of a difference on elevation. So as far as a trajectory, it is very, very similar between a 14.5 6.5 to the 16-inch 308, which is 16-inch 308 is kind of the M110K1. We're throwing a lot of acronyms out here. Is kind of that next standard of DMRs that we've progressed towards. The SCAR.
Well, and when you think
DMR.
about M110K1 and its place, and we sort of have talked and touched on this before, but the requisition idea behind that and the use case behind that, it sort of seems to be that it would fit in the same exact role here as the MRGG-A, which is assaulter, but with the ability to take longer shots or extended shots as needed.
I think, frankly, you overglassed this thing to the actual employment of it. It's just fine, because we've also overglassed the SCAR Heavy as a DMR, and I would say this squeezes more potential out of the system for us to see on range. But yeah, if this were to be in the field, it would. I would imagine that SOCOM would want this to fit the SCAR Heavy's position with, let's say, like a 1-to-8 attacker. Basically being able to pull back and run CQB, pull your own security if you need to inside of a structure, and then push your way up to a rooftop and cover anything like 0 to 6 with first round impacts, and then 6 and beyond with second round impact or area fire type.
Very direct, effective fire. Yeah, I mean, it certainly makes sense. Obviously on the actual run here, we had one hiccup at the 400, which was a weird elevation thing, which, I mean, the first impact was high, we adjusted down, and then the second impact actually missed low, which is strange, because the velocities, they min-maxed when we went back and looked at the chrono, they min-maxed in that direction.
Yeah,
but not that much at 400 yards, right? Yeah. Not that much at 400.
So it would be more believable if that third shot that I took in the belly was the second shot that hit low.
That's where it should have gone. So frankly, don't know what happened on that. You were doing holdovers, so maybe you did your holdover wrong.
Yes, I am not a human machine rest. I've gotten better through the years, yes, but there is absolutely a possibility for human error. We don't know.
But past that, which I don't think that's like a repeatable normal thing. I think that the pocket of fire on this out to 700-800 is probably very repeatable hits. But even past that, we had one windage, like slight elevation windage off at 800. The same thing at 9, and then a first round hit at 1,000. And the 800 and the 900, you could see how fast we were able to immediately, here's the correction, bang, re-engage, and score a hit. So these are definitely supremely accurate and capable at the distances of employment that we're talking about here, especially if this is, what would we say, Henry? The 5.56 guns that are like a URGI, that's best used out to 500-600 yards. Like obviously we've shot ours further, like we've got hits I think out to 900 or 1,000.
Look,
but it's like
we've shot 16-inch 5.56s out to 1,000. Not just the
but
URGI,
right. But when we look at the performance pocket that we want to be in for it, and just thinking about like where the round goes subsonic, right, out of a 14.5 5.56 gun, it's like 700-ish, right?
Yeah.
That sort of starts to be like where you're, as Adrian would say, you're having fun beyond a certain range, right? But if you're inside of that pocket, that's where it's really maximized, and especially when you factor in wind and wind deflection, like I'd say like. If I'm thinking my own 5.56 guns, out to like 5-600, everything on the inside of that creek bed, I feel really confident on taking first round shots and getting hits, even in windy days, as shooting 77s. Once I get beyond the creek bed there, I'm like less confident about getting first round hits. And something like this, I think, would up the confidence pretty dramatically on my ability to like hit the target, hit it with authority.
So I think when we're looking at this and we're looking at the SOCOM's employment of these things, you've got to think of it from a mission planning perspective. So you've got your chess pieces, right? You've got your assaulters, you've got your snipers, you've got highly trained individuals that you use to stage in different locations. Now, if we're using the chess analogy, it's kind of like a queen on a chessboard versus, well, that's kind of... There's not a direct analogy here, actually, on the chessboard, because a queen is a pretty awesome. If you have multiple queens, which you wouldn't, it would be pretty deadly. You have someone who could flex into these different roles, but not do any of them as well as someone specialized, right? But you have someone you could quickly flex into this location and being able to do that. That is a powerful thing to have for a mission planner. But then at the same time, you've also got to think, if you give everyone an MRGG-A to kick rooms, you are actually going to hold back on the capabilities that these guys have, because it's pretty unwieldy compared to a URGI at closer ranges. So when you're looking at this and you're developing these systems, you have the baseline of logistics on what you're looking at, the caliber that you're settling on, right? You're talking about 5.56, and then on the other side 6.5. We're not looking at belt feds right now. We're just looking at the marksmen and the hitters. And you're able to get one guy that could flex into these different categories while drawing from the same logistics pool. That, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is where the money really is. I think if people were to look at this and say, oh, you can also do... Yes, you can also hit 1,000 with this. But is it, if you are looking at longer range engagements, you would just mission someone out with the MRGG-S, which would be the Geissele. That's not what we're looking at. We're looking at giving the mission planner some chess pieces, and that's what we're talking about, fitting those capabilities into someone who's planning missions and drawing from the logistics that they currently have. So it's less so about can it do this, it's about can you have that capability that could fulfill another chess piece in this type of mission planning? I think that's a smart move for SOCOM.
Now, Henry, you have historically always told me that, like, I would never go below X barrel length or Y barrel length. Yeah. Whatever it is on any given caliber or what have you. I mean, how much is shooting the G28 recently? How much have, and I don't want to detract too much from that'll have its own video, but how much have shooting these rifles changed that perspective for you?
The bottom line is a lot. Getting into the more professional rungs of the shooting stuff, not getting away from the commercial entities or just the commercial offerings that are out there.
Yeah.
I think it's a realization of looking at something at a more holistic stance, right? You actually have to move with a weapon system. The ballistics is just one piece to it. I also think before we weren't really considering nearly as much suppressor use as we are now.
One thing that I think is important here is that you've hit on it again, which is it's not as easy to use this as it is to use a 20-inch version of this, right? But I think my perception or the paradigm shift I see is that but I can still do it. I can do it. Whereas before there was maybe a question of whether like, why are we even trying to do this? It doesn't make sense to be shooting this at this distance with this barrel. And now it's like, well, yeah, but we're hitting with it though.
Yeah.
And that sort of in my mind is like, okay, so that unlocks the probability or the possibility to push down another avenue. And that's sort of where, at least for me, where I see it. But
I think if I were to leave with anything here, and I will have a final question at the end of this. Don't let me forget it. If we were to look back at what I had in my notes, the 0 to 6, dare I say 0 to 7.5, you're looking at 6.3 mils of an adjustment, of an upward trajectory adjustment, which is like halfway down your Christmas tree on an LPVO, on an ATAC of 1 to 8. That is the exact same trajectory as a 308 in 16-inch 308. So, to me, this signifies more of an adoption to a caliber change and trying to preserve a lot of that capability that has been proven with the previous systems of 16-inch 308s that are already in the field, but using a caliber that has a lot more predictability and adopting to a different caliber that gives you a different set of advantages in the field. My final question is still to the audience on whether they would stay with 7.62, whether they would instead go with the 6.5 with a 14.5-inch barrel as an assaulter, a battle rifle assaulter, or would they choose what the big army did and choose the mighty 6.8 by 51 M7 caliber to move ahead? Look, frankly, I think on this note, staying with 7.62 is kind of the non-answer here. It's not going to be the answer because SOCOM's already broken away from Big Army 10 years ago and using 6.5. So at this point,
but you know what's really cool about these LMTs is that with 2 screws, that barrel slides out and we can throw a 308 barrel in. And guess who's got one of those ready to go, Henry?
That's right. And I will also add, well, maybe for the next video, because we're coming up skinny on time. But the next video, we really ought to delve into the LMT New Zealand contract issues and Estonia issues and potential QC problems and whether they could actually push a large-scale manufacturing for some of these contracts. I'd be very curious in delving into that.
Had to leave with a little bit of spice on the top there, Henry. Had to be done. Ladies and gents, thanks for sticking around for us through the end of this debrief. We hope you enjoyed getting to see the LMT MRGG-A absolutely hammer the course. Extremely shootable rifle, and frankly, an absolute laser. So, as always, if you do the good YouTube stuff, we certainly appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, hop over into the Patreon, join us in the private Discord, and until next time, we'll see you on the range.
We forgot to tell them to check out Pepperbox, where we currently are a new member to. Okay, bye-bye, guys.
Pepper 16 is Steel 96, 4 Vic, 8 packs, Redcon 1, green to green. How copy, over?
Steel 96, this is Pepper 16, roger, over. 16, Steel 91, 1 pack, green, over. This is Pepper 16, roger, over. 16, Steel 92, 1 Victor, 2 packs, Redcon 1, over.